your hand and we'll get from Mike. Start with that.
You've had a number of guys that have played different positions, corner safety, safety star, so on. Is that more out of necessity that those guys need to be ready to play somewhere else, or are you really looking at where guys fit best for the future?
It's a great question. I think it's both things. We, from the get-go, most of the places I've been at, especially in the latter career here, it gives you an opportunity, obviously, to train guys. You want to have guys that are athletic enough to play all the positions on the back end because you don't want to have any weaknesses. You don't want to be a guy that, hey, look, he can only play the strong safety. He can't cover that well. So we've recruited that way. We wanted guys that can play all. And when I say all of them, both corner positions, obviously the star, dime, and both safety positions. So. We've been doing that since we've been here. So there's been a handful of guys, 5 to 7 guys that we feel comfortable in moving around, training them. So since spring ball, we've done that. So it allows us that when somebody does go down, it's not the guy that was backing them up. It's really the next best player, the next guy that's the most prepared to get the opportunity. And that's happened to us now in the last couple of weeks.
Coach Kamal hadn't made his debut for you guys. What led to his playing time opportunity, and how do you assess how he did?
It's just been working, preparing. Kamal's no different than Brandon Turnage. Brandon has been working. Talking about a couple of weeks ago, and Theo was down. He goes in there and obviously has a great game and gets named SEC Defensive Player of the Week, But it's been a work in progress. They've been working at it. Kamal's the same way. Had some setbacks with some injuries, which didn't allow him to get the reps that he needed, the quality reps in practice. We had high hopes from the beginning, on both those guys and all of them really, and like we always say, the next man mentality. And given the opportunity, he'd been working and did a nice job when he went in there, and quality reps, which were very important, especially in this league.
Coach, at this point, midway through the season, what's maybe one thing that you like what your secondary has done, and maybe what's one thing that you point to and say, we got to get better on this the rest of the season?
For the most part, I think these guys have been playing really hard. They have been playing physical. The energy's been there. They've continued to progress in the knowledge of our scheme and preparing. I think they've done a really great job with that. The thing that I think we could do always better is play smarter. We got to be able to sustain it throughout the whole game, making good decisions, solving problems as we go. You got to be able to do that in the back end. How you practice it, you're going to rely on your rules. What's your assignment? What's the base rules? But there's going to be some adjustments here based off of splits and situation. And I think we could be a lot smarter. Consistently throughout the game.
Obviously, Matt Corral made some plays with his legs, but you guys did a pretty good job bottling him up in the passing game. Just what did you guys do well there in pass coverage to kind of limit that?
I'm sorry, say that again, what you were saying.
Sorry, Matt Corral had some good plays in the running game, but just you guys seemed to limit him a little bit more in the passing game. What did you guys do well to kind of cause some problems for him in the passing game?
I just think we played really hard. I think as a unit we played really hard. I think we were physical, which we knew that he was a talented individual. He was going to make plays on his, off schedule, so to speak, with his feet, and which he did. But limit the the explosive plays. Would be the first thing, and obviously with a great player like him and the receivers that they have, we didn't do it. Quite throughout the whole entire game. Obviously they made some plays, and they're going to make plays. I said earlier to the question asked just about a few seconds ago. Is we just got to play smarter. A guy like that who's a really good player, and we're going to be facing Bryce Young again, another great player at quarterback. Anytime the guy that's got the ball in his hand on every snap is a really good, like these guys. That's you got to be on top of your game. From a standpoint of understanding the situation, and then obviously making good decisions, based off our scheme.
And then also just what's the next step for Brandon Turnage? Obviously showed some good things, but what does he need to do now to get more playing time?
Here's the thing, it's he's continuing to grow and learn in our system and get better each day. He's got a great attitude. You know, he understands that the guy he just replaced in one of the games has been playing the best in the back end, you know, in Theo. And but we can also move him around, you know. Again, he's been trained at corner, you know, so he'll play some there. He'll play some at star, you know. He'll play some at dime, you know, as to continue to play him, you know. And he's earned that, you know. So.
Willie, you mentioned Turnage, and I wanted to ask you about his performance. A lot was said about Theo Jackson helping him, watching tape with him and working him through all this. And I wonder how much of that is just a compliment to Theo Jackson or a compliment to the culture that's here, or both?
I think it's both. You know, it starts obviously with Coach Hype and what he's brought here and you know, as a staff, and we've been saying it from day one, you know, as holding ourselves accountable and but also at the same time too taking ownership of, you know, each other. Take your own, you know, take what you're supposed to be, you know, knowing. Let me replay. Be accountable for everything you do. That includes myself and them, and they've done that since we've been here. Theo is obviously a great leader, someone who has a tremendous amount of experience since he's been here. He's been the most consistent player since day one, okay, since we've gotten here. Obviously, I've known him prior to him, my last time that I was here, you know, so I had some kind of inside information on him as far as what kind of player he was, what kind of person he was. I'm not surprised. I mean, within it, you know, we tell the guys that, you know, if you're not in, you should be coaching. You know, that's how we do it every day in the reps and in the practice field. If you're on a second group, you're watching what the first group is doing, and you know, and then make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. And Theo knew he wasn't going to play. You know, obviously he took it upon himself, just like he does every day in practice. Even when he's playing, he's coaching, and obviously that's the kind of culture that we want. And I can see a lot of it because it's just spreading. It's spreading among the group in a defensive back group, but you can see it on the team too. And the communication is a lot better than it was day one, as it should be. And but I think everybody's pulling for each other. You know, they're playing for each other. That's really what you want. And it was great to see that because you know, like I said, Brandon embraced it, and he's doing the reverse order too. You know, I mean, if he's not in there, he's doing the same thing too.
Well, a lot of times when we're trying to kind of gauge how a corner's playing, it's easy to see if a guy's gotten beat in man coverage, or it's easy to see if he's intercepted a pass. Overall, how would you say Alante and Warren Burrell are playing? How are they executing? How are they doing their jobs out there?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question too. Again, everybody can see when someone makes a mistake, especially when you're dealing with space. And you know, they've been playing well. They've been playing solid. Have they played perfect? No. Have they made mistakes? Absolutely. You know, but you know, and you correct them and you move forward. And you know, they've made a lot of good plays too. You know, plays that you don't see, whether that's leveraging the football and someone else is making a play. The sack that we got for the safety, you know, that was the perimeter. That was guys back there in good coverage. There was really good eye discipline on the play, you know, and Corral didn't see it, so he knew it wasn't there. He tries to pull back up, tries to make another play, and the ball's out, you know what I mean? Or obviously we got a safety at that time because it was called a penalty. So there's a lot of things that you don't see that don't, you know, because it's not a stat. So we can be better, you know, as a group. You know, and we say it all the time as coaches, you're not going to play a perfect game, you know. If you had to do the game all over again, obviously the result would be different, you know. If you said, you know, we all like that next play, you know, let's repeat that play. You know, you're always good on the second time around. You got to do it the first time, so you got to prepare. And just show more consistency, you know, from the whole group. And but they've had some great plays too, you know.
Last two questions, Vince and Wes.
Two quick things. It seems like Bryce Young, when he scrambles, he looks to try to keep the play alive and throw versus a Corral who wants to run. When you look at him on tape, is that what you see?
Yeah, that's accurate. But he's also good with his feet. You know, he makes really good decisions, just like, you know, Matt. But he knows he's got great players around him. He knows what to do with the ball. Obviously, is and I'm not going to say that he's looking to run every single time he's, that it's not there, but he does a good job of throwing the ball away and doesn't take a sack, and he makes good decisions to run with it when he has to get the first down or keep the chains moving.
And then what else stands out about Alabama's offense?
They're just consistent, efficient. Obviously they've been doing that for a long time, and the consistency and being able to sustain it is a credit to them. And obviously we're looking forward to the challenge, and it's a very talented football team.
Willie, we've heard players talk about how sometimes the system is more simplified so they don't make mistakes. But with the offenses being as complex as they are, is it difficult to be simple on defense to counter some of the things you're seeing on offense?
Yeah, correct. And again, but if you start with, you got to have enough. We have enough defense to keep it, okay, where you're changing up stuff. That word simple. It's just really a matter of communication. Make sure that it's tight, it's precise. With our adjustments, and but be multiple too from the same looks that you're presenting. You know what I mean? So I don't think the game is simple at all. Even if you had a couple of calls, you still have to get lined up. Know your assignment, play really hard, and you got to get up and snap and clear and play it again the next play. And offenses are so good now. Obviously, just the tempo. All the teams that have different, different styles of how to do it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. The rules are what they are, and we just got to continue to play the tempo that we're playing on defense. Meaning we're playing hard, we're playing physical, okay, but we just got to be able to play smarter, throughout the game, and but I think that it allows the guys to let loose and be confident when they do make those corrections, from game to game, and we've done that a couple times here. We had to go on for a string here, not that we played a bad ball game this last game, you know what I mean? But again, we just like to, finish the game, start it and finish it, like the previous two games we had.
Thank you, Coach.
Good. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.